typically, and this is not limited to India, somewhere in the range of 80% of the news audience is male.
What?
Yes. And that is unfortunate. Wouldn't women be interested in investment and wars and politics and elections? Because it impacts their lives too. Would they only be interested in stories about domestic violence and pay parity and so on?
So this is the context of the video, and we are going to take a deep dive and discuss about this clip as to why women are not that interested in political news or political conversations, and why they kind of stay away from all of this stuff. And we will also try and understand what exactly are women watching, क्या देख क्या रही हैं वो. Whenever these kind of questions come, people try and simplify it by saying that the news is gory, boring, and all in all very sad, and women don't like to see sad stuff. Then tell me why many women watch true crime stories. Many murder mysteries and all of that stuff. Women watch it the most, including me. So saying that women don't like to see sad stuff, it's wrong. So, after reading and researching about it on the internet for hours, I came to a conclusion, and that conclusion is representation. It is as simple as that. And it is just not about women, it is about every person, every gender. So, for example, women do not watch political news, geopolitical news, or economic news because there are less number of women in politics, in administrative stuff, and also in like finances, in earning. When we see the data of women working in India, the number is around 30%, and the salary of most of the women is also very less. So, where would they go and how would they invest? And because of it, they are not interested. If there is any woman who has made it on her own and she's like millionaire, she has a lot of money, don't you think she would be interested in investments and stuff like that? Because she can, and she has that money, but most women don't, and that is why their way of saving still is like in the kitchen boxes. It's very simple. Many recent shows and movies like Archie's, Four More Shots, or Ananya Pandey's recent show, everyone is criticizing these shows because everybody was like, who is your target audience? We are not. Everyone was saying that their target audience must be the five people from South Bombay because we don't relate to it, and that is the reason why these shows don't work, because we just don't relate to it. And that is the reason why we don't relate to the news as a woman, I'm telling you, because we are just not there. And it is not only about women, it is about men also. Because in the same interview, few minutes before she asked what are women watching, she said that whenever we make shows about pay parity or women related issues, the viewership drops. Now, why it happened? आदमी तो न्यूज़ ही देखते हैं क्योंकि वही तो सबसे बड़ी टारगेट ऑडियंस है, तो वो तो हर न्यूज़ देखना चाहिए उनको. पर जब भी न्यूज़ फीमेल सेंट्रिक होती है तो व्यूअरशिप क्यों ड्रॉप हो जाती है? The simple answer is that they don't relate to the story. And later in the interview, she says, or she asks, what are women watching? So let me tell you, women are watching cooking videos, makeup videos, K-dramas, C-dramas, BTS, Get Ready With Me, and we are happy doing all of that stuff. And I don't understand why women, in order to be considered smart, in order to be considered sitting in a conversation, she has to do the stuff that men like. Whenever or whatever the stuff which is considered womanly, like which is mostly women targeted, feminine, people always look down on it. Whatever stuff that is completely dominated by women, that is targeted to women, is always looked down upon by men. For example, if women like BTS or K-dramas, your brother, your male friend would always make fun of you. But if you watch anime with them, you would be considered cool. Or for example, recently the trend of Get Ready With Me is very famous on social media, and many girls make that kind of content. And I have seen many men making fun of that kind of content, like oh how girls get ready on social media. तो वो अपने सर पे काली सी एक टी शर्ट पहन लेंगे और लड़कियों की एक्टिंग करना शुरू कर देंगे. If girls like Taylor Swift, people make fun of Swifties a lot. And even though I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift, but just because mostly women watch it, people would make fun of it. And many people say that the representation of women in politics or sports or administration should increase. But you have to understand one thing, that it has not been a very long time that women were allowed to enter into these spaces. It has only been like 100 or 200 years. But for male, for thousands of years, they have been involved in politics, decision making, sports, and the structure, the design of these institutions, these structures, I'm very sorry to say, but is very manly. For many women to rule, they had to dress and live like a man. For example, this Egyptian queen, she had to live like a man because that was the Egyptian tradition, that a pharaoh can only be a man, and even after her death, in her depiction also, she is given a beard. Or, for example, Razia Sultan. Even though she was more competent than her incompetent brother was given more opportunity over her because the mantris were like, we are not going to take orders from a lady. And when after a lot of time she became a queen, she adopted the male attire. You also would also see in most Western politics that many female leaders wear suits. Like, why can't they wear their stuff? Because they would not then be taken seriously. So what I'm saying is, these institutions are very manly. Like we see in many sports as well, that many women, in order to enhance their strength, they take testosterone shots. Why? Why can't they just compete with their female limits? So that's what I'm saying. For female to be considered worthy or smart enough, they have to compete with men in their own field, in which they have been for millennia, and women for like 2 centuries. So that's what I'm saying. If you want women to watch the news, first of all, I don't think the kind of news of tamasha that is present media, anybody is watching that. The younger generation, I don't think, not only women but men are also not watching it. Because again, no younger representation. सारे बड़े बुजुर्ग बैठ के पता नहीं क्या डिसीजन लिए जा रहे हैं, और द वे द न्यूज़ इज़ प्रेजेंटेड, इट्स नॉट लाइक, मज़ा नहीं आता देखने में. So you get the wrong information, that we are not getting any information about the world or wars or whatever. We do, just not through the traditional media. We get the news through our social media. So don't worry, थोड़ी बहुत information सबको है. And the kind of news जो present होती है आज के टाइम पर in the traditional media, अगर कोई देख भी रहा है, शर्त लगा लो मेरे से कि वो भी बहुत informed individual नहीं निकलेगा. उसकी नॉलेज भी उतनी ही होगी जितनी औरतों की आप समझते हो. क्योंकि दिखाते क्या है टीवी पे, या तो रूलिंग पार्टी की तारीफ दिखाते हैं, या तो यूपी के किसी गांव में वेयरवुल्फ आ गया है उसकी खबरें 5 दिन से चल रही है. तो अब ये जानकारी लेके एक वुमेन क्या ही कर लेगी. अच्छा ही है वो ये सब नहीं देख रही. बिकॉज दिस इज़ ऑल्सो सेम लेवल इफ़ नॉट मोर ऑफ अ ब्रेन रॉट एज हर मेकअप वीडियोज़, हर सास बहू सीरियल्स और वॉट एवर. जितने भी आदमी न्यूज़ देखते हैं, आप उनसे मोदी जी के कार्यकाल के 10 काम गिनवा लो. इतनी न्यूज़ देखने के बाद भी दे वोंट बी एबल टू गिव आंसर्स. दे वुड गो लाइक, आर्टिकल 370 कर दिया, ट्रिपल तलाक कर दिया, मंदिर बनवा दिया. ये बात तो हर किसी को पता है, इसके लिए कुछ देखने की ज़रूरत भी नहीं है. ये बात सबको पता है. ये बात तो मेरे पड़ोस में रहने वाली 70 साल की अम्मा को भी पता है. So in the end, let me conclude by saying, if you want to increase women viewership in the news, first of all, produce good quality, unbiased news, जिससे एक्चुअली में कुछ मुझे नॉलेज हो, ना कि बस मेरा ब्रेन रॉट हो. Second, increase the representation of women in politics, in economics, in administration, and also in the media circle. And last but not the least, the one thing I would like to emphasize is, please stop demeaning or mocking the things and shows and dramas that women like me like. Don't do this. So that's it for today's video. I'm gonna meet you in the next video. Till then, bye.